Let's look at lesson 45. Short lesson. There's only 2 example problems we'll actually do. But if you have square root of 9, let's take a deeper look at this. If you have square root of 9, generally we say it's positive 3. Well, everything you know is slightly wrong. That is true. However, this is the same as saying 3 squared equals 9, right? What if we have negative 3 squared? Well, that would also equal 9. So the square root of 9 could actually be a negative 3, because negative 3 squared would be 9. So slightly confusing. So all that being said, if you have square root of 9, what we can say is plus 3 or minus 3, because either one would equal that when you square it. So if you have, let's say you had well, let's just look at an example problem. Let's look at example 45.1. If you have solve for x plus 17 squared equals 2, this is known as the difference of 2 squares. Well, right here we have an identity of x plus 17 squared. How do we get rid of the squared? Well, the thing we always do is the opposite in order to get rid of something. So what we do is square root the x plus 17 to cross that out. But if we square root this side, we have to square root this side. Now when we say square root of 2, though, what we have to do, just like we said in the past, is we have to do plus or minus in front of it. So now we're at x plus 17 equals plus or minus square root of 2. Because this squared, if we went back to it, could be a plus or negative. Now from here, it's very easy to solve. Get x by itself, subtract 17, subtract 17. So you get x equals negative 17 plus or minus square root of 2. And that would be your answer. So technically, you could write x equals negative 17 plus radical 2, x equals negative 17 minus radical 2. Either of those answers, or you'd have to have both of those. Either of these answers is an A and B, writing both of those would be acceptable. But notice there's a difference. And you could plug it in and check, but we're not going to do that. But that's all there is to solving for x. So these are actually pretty simple. So x plus 2/5 squared. Gotta get rid of the squared by square rooting. Square root here. That changes to a plus or minus square root of 3. And now you're at this point, x plus 2/5 equals plus or minus square root of 3. Subtract 2/5. Both sides. Get x equals negative 2/5 plus or minus square root of 3 for your answer. And that's all there is to lesson 45.